Okay, welcome to another episode 9 of our OneLife podcast. It's where we chat about all things business and how that can link into your personal life as well. That's why we call it OneLife. Might as well make it count. Thanks to everyone who's been following and giving us feedback over the last couple of months. It's been really nice to hear good feedback, bad feedback. Any feedback is feedback that we take on board. So thanks very much. We've got a couple of new hairdos for this one. Naren's shaved his head and come home. And I shaved my head for cancer in support of my little cousin for leukemia. And there was a lot of people on LinkedIn and that listened to the podcast and whatnot that supported us. And we raised a lot of money there. So thanks again. So a couple of thank yous to start off with.
It must have been pretty tough to lose those locks though, mate. Let's be honest.
Pretty easy. My cousin gave me a box of tissues while she was doing it.
Okay.
You rock around, man. Don't worry.
But there were no tears.
It's cool.
Tears.
It's very good cause.
Better than having cancer, mate.
Yeah,
100%. Yeah, I'll do it again in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Look, we're in interesting economic times. There's a lot of doom and gloom out there. Those that have been listening right from the start on this podcast will know that we're not negative people. We're always glass half full. We're always positive. So this episode is all about solutions and things you can work on and work towards this year or even the next couple of years. As everybody else out there is all doom and gloom, we'll stay positive and look at solutions. So today's all about growing your business or making it better. I think the important point to make is that not everybody wants to grow a business. Something like 2/3, maybe even more than 2/3 of people that are in business don't want to grow it. They just want to make it better.
Mm-hmm.
So when we're talking today, we're talking about growing or making it better. So yeah, this is one of those ones I think that you'll probably want to listen to twice. It's quite a fact-based episode, I think.
Yep.
There will be opinions. So we're always quite opinionated on this podcast. But I think, listen to it twice and maybe even with a pen and paper might be quite useful.
Yes.
Right, let's hit it from the start. So most of the time when you talk to people, like, oh, what are you going to do this year in terms of business? There's only 2 ways to make more money. You're like, well, what do you mean? You say, well, you either make more sales or you cut costs. So we're here to tell you that those are not the only 2 ways to do it. In the end, probably make more sales and cut costs, but there's a bit more behind that. And so today we're going to run through 7 ways. We might not get through all of them, but we'll definitely try. Some of them will spend longer than others. So there are 7 ways that we always work through with our clients and as a group, and we won't hide them from anybody. we do sessions on this all the time. We've done a webinar and that'll be on our website and whatnot, so you can go and get it. So 7 ways. The first one is increase retention rate.
Should we just back it up? Can we talk about your 2 ways? So
yes.
Increase revenue and reduce costs.
Yeah.
Does everyone think that's what everyone just does?
Yes.
I mean, we're talking about 7 ways like it's a big secret, which is not.
No.
But most people go into business thinking about 2 things: increase revenue, reduce costs.
That's logical, right?
Yeah.
I think it's ridiculous as well because, you can reduce. I think you should focus on your top line. Your top line should be dictated by your cost of goods.
Mm-hmm.
And then your costs are your costs to some extent, like your overheads. Obviously, things are going to go up with inflation and IT costs are going up. Insurance is fucking ridiculous. Like there's all these extra stuff. But like every small business that I've seen, well, most of them are just, that's their metric, right? Sales and costs.
Well, I think the one's easier than the other as well. Cut costs is way easier, but it's more dangerous, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, totally. Like if you are so cost orientated, I think you got a problem.
Yeah. But it's interesting though, because that's what's out there, so this is an education process that we're taking through not only our clients, but the people that are out there. But you're right. Generally speaking, that's what people think, So today we're here to educate that there's other ways that you can grow your business.
Yeah. It's probably to expand on sayings like you got to spend money to make money. Like what the fuck does it even mean? Like where?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, there's lots of areas there.
Yeah. But back to your point, I think it is interesting because there's a lot of clients out there that don't want to grow their business. You know, they really don't. They're happy in their bag with what they're doing. There's no stress. They're relaxed and they're happy where they are. But you can get stagnant. So you have to continually improve, even if you're not going to be growing your business. And I think that's to your point about being better is a true one.
Yeah.
Was it weird back in the day when people go, I don't want to grow my business? Like, did you find it weird when someone told you that?
Yes, I did.
I automatically used to think they weren't ambitious. But it's, I guess I didn't have enough life
Depends
skills.
what kind of person you are, because some people are like, you know, they're pretty happy with life, but we're growth-minded people, you know. We were thinking about what's the next best thing, continuous improvement. That's one of our core values at BetterCo as well. So I think each person have their own personality. There's not right or wrong.
Totally.
There's so many ways to play this game, you know, called business. There's no winning or finishing line at the business, right?
I think that's the most important point is like when someone says they don't want to grow, I almost think that they're done, but maybe they're not done. Maybe they're just happy with what they're doing and maybe they're actually working on just making a couple of things better. Growing is by definition generally revenue, right? But you could actually reduce revenue and make more money. So you might want to not grow.
But also this is a OneLife podcast, right? So people may be in business just to go through the motions because they're doing things outside of their business life that are fulfilling for them.
Yeah.
You know, so that's great as well. That's maybe even better.
That's the best way to create a life, isn't it? To get into business. So you can dictate to some extent what kind of create the life you want.
Yeah.
That's why I think people went into business.
Yeah, imagine you're making the same amount of money, but you get to spend 2 more days with your family full day.
Yes.
Right? That's still growth, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, different perspective.
Yeah.
And I think we've touched on this before though. You can go into business and be like completely crazy busy all of the time and you get no family life as well. So the end goal has to be that you create the business so that you do have that free time.
Yeah. Then you get other people who just really want to work full stop. They like working.
Yeah. There's no right and wrong. There's so many variables. It's ridiculous.
I think that's important to say though, because people often come to us and go, what's the right thing to do? And what's the wrong thing? It's like, well, there isn't one. Like, I don't have the answer. You've got the answer. I'm just going to work it out with you.
Yeah.
And you're never done working on that question.
Well, it changes all the
or
time.
that answer, yeah.
You don't come to an accountant or advisor and say, hey, let's do a business plan and it's done. You know, you work on it over and over again. Every year, every quarter, you just refine it. Yeah.
It's also important, even when you're thinking long term, say 5 years. Like, I know for us, our 5 years is not the same as 2 years ago. Like you've got to constantly evaluate. So, good chat. Let's bring it back. Point 1 is to increase retention rate. So retention is by definition, retain, keep. So what are ways to increase retention rate? So, I mean, we'll talk about whole different industries and goods, service industries, or all sorts of stuff. So let's rattle off some points to help people how to increase retention rate.
Do you want me to start?
Yep.
I think the biggest one out of all of them, and I can be challenged on this, communication. 100% communication. So you need to be talking to your customers all of the time through different channels. So that can be through jumping on the phone, old school. It can be emails, it can be EDMs, it can be through social. But I think retention, your customers need to feel loved all of the time.
Yes.
And if you're communicating with them, they can feel that love.
Yep. Great. Love that. Let's just move to the other 7.
There you go. I just was thinking about something.
I reckon if you want to retain, we use this word all the time called making your clients stickier. You know, meaning it's so hard to leave your business because you do such good work. And I think customer experience is at its core, right? If your customer is not getting the right experience, they're going to feel unloved, like you say, Justin, and you're not going to retain their revenue going forward. So I think that's a basic. And just don't be a muppet, you know.
Don't be a muppet.
Don't want to be obvious, but don't piss people off. Don't be a dickhead, you know. Treat people with kindness. That's the first step.
No dicks policy. I like that.
Yeah, I think in the services world, it's just give a shit. Like, it's just be a real person and actually just, for me, it's pick up the phone. If you really care, you're going to pick up the phone and talk to me.
Yeah.
And then talk to me like a normal person, not a business person or like I'm a idiot.
Not a transaction.
Yeah, like, you know, like don't call me, oh, hey, I'm just making a call just to check in. That's like actually genuinely have interest in what I'm into. Like I do with my clients. I actually know the shit that they're up to and spend a lot of time talking to them. So I mean, that retention is like the biggest thing for me. That's always what I've done in the service world. In the retail world, I think you can get a bit more technical and be like how many club people are walking through the door, how many like hellos are we saying, how are we making them feel when we get into a store, are they transacting? Like then there's all these other sort of retention metrics that I would go like. So I think services is actually easier than hospitality, retail, because then that goes right from stepping foot, making sure that if it's hospitality, tables are clean,
It's the whole experience.
Coffee's good.
The whole experience needs to be good.
Totally,
Yeah, it has to come from the top too. I mean, owners, because we've got hands in the pie, we're always going to have the attitude or the winning attitude or giving the top service. How do you then trickle down to your team and everything else?
I think services it's easier to trickle down into the team, but when you talk about retail and product-based businesses, it's almost about the product, but there's got to be something about the product that is good or slightly better than somebody else. And if it's not the product, then it better be the customer experience. It better be the user experience thereafter.
Yeah. It's like iPhones, right? Everyone using an iPhone here.
Yeah.
No Androids. No wars then. Okay, I can say what I want. Yeah. Look, iPhone. Like I used to be an Android guy, for years, and I just wouldn't even touch iPhone or Apple and say, oh, it's just rip off, costs too much. I started by buying one iPhone 6 years ago with Kirsten, and now my entire ecosystem is Apple based. AirPods, a watch, MacBook, and all these things. Crazy,
so that's a good idea, actually, right there. Like periphery or accessories.
Yeah.
That will increase your retention rate. Like if you can lock people down a little bit and get into the ecosystem, give them something else that attaches to the main thing, i.e. the phone. Like if you've got a watch now that attaches to the phone.
Yeah.
So whatever it is that you do, I don't know if let's say you're a builder and you build houses. Well, maybe you wash fences once a year, and you go around to all your customers and you say it's our month of washing fences. Do you want a fence wash? No doubt you'll go and do that, and they'll be happy with you the next time they got a product. You've retained that customer.
Mm.
Yeah, I think retention is the number one thing. Like, and I would have a retention plan. Like, if people, talk to some business owners and they're like, I don't care, just cut the fat. It's like, that's bullshit. Everyone is a customer. They've been a customer for they should be treated the same. No, I think they should be treated the same. They should have the same experience, maybe not treated the same if they're 10 years old or 1 year old. Like, I think that should be everybody should be important.
Yeah. So here's another example, like Sky TV.
Yeah.
So I still pay for Sky, but for Sky to retain me, they never contact me whatsoever. You might get an EDM every so often. They are targeting new business. So all of their, marketing and all of that is based on getting new people through the door. They need to spend a little bit more time in trying to retain me because I'm at risk.
Yeah.
The whole of New Zealand's at risk for Sky. They don't give a shit.
And then the deals come out and they're offering all of these deals for bringing on new clients, and we're still paying the big monthly fee month on, month off. It's like...
Why do you think that is, though? Is this built into their strategy because they know that you're not going to leave?
Correct.
There's a big moat around it.
Yeah.
Coming back to your point, I'm sticky.
Yeah.
That's right.
I need to wake up on a Sunday morning and watch golf. I'm not going to get rid of Sky.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like the value's there for you, right? I mean, when there's no value like gym membership, there's so many around. Then you can use pricing to create stickier clients, like City Fitness. Good business model. Used to charge $14 a week, but now they're charging $7.50 or $8.
Yeah.
It's like a price of a coffee without milk. So some people just pay and never show up, right? So that's a really good strategy too for their part, and they've grown so much throughout the years. You see them expanding all over.
So to your Sky point, I think it's to make your product or a service a necessity. So I actually think Sky is a necessity. So when I was there, it was like, if someone had Sky, you can't be like, you should get rid of your Sky, because they think they actually
it was a need, not a
they
want.
deem it as a need.
Wow.
This was like 15 years ago.
That's crazy.
So like I couldn't tell a customer to get rid of your Sky.
It's the same with Netflix. It's the same with Disney. All of those online systems. It's the same thing.
Yeah. Got to keep it exciting.
Yeah.
Okay, we're moving on to number 2. This is a common one, so it's not a secret. Increase leads generated. Okay, everyone said, oh yeah, but how do I get more leads? Like, we know how to get leads. If we're talking, let's try to focus on goods based rather than service based. We can wrap back into service based at the end, but what do you guys reckon? Maybe 1 point each this time. Just how do you increase the leads that you're about to get?
Oh, I mean, there's a few, but the first one is having a half decent website. So you've got someone that you can show your wares and you can show what you're about as a business. I think that's important to have that presence, even in this day and age. The websites have been around for a very long time now, but people always visit websites. I still do every day.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. Like, because they've been around so long, people, I got a website, but is there actually a call to action to your website to generate the lead? Right, the lead might be there and has gone to your website, but for them to be a lead for you, they actually probably have had to contact you at some point. So you got to make it easy. Make sure your website's not hard to use is probably the thing there.
There's no excuses these days to have a bad website, in my view.
Yeah.
It's almost like a given, like a baseline.
Yeah. If it's shit,
you can pay someone $2-3 grand and get one, so, or make it yourself with so many websites. I reckon another one I touch on is referral programs. That kind of works for service-based and product-based businesses. Yeah. Your client already trusts you. For them, you can sort of leverage off that trust and good service to tell them to refer your friend.
Yeah.
To say, hey, look, if you refer your friend, we'll give you a 50% discount and your friend too. That's a good way. Or even, places like Amazon, AliExpress, Temu. Temu is a massive one. It just went on this massive hole of referring, hey, refer 5 people and get a free stuff.
Yeah.
Get this message going for free and refer 10 people. And they went on a massive wave. And I think Temu's sort of almost taken over AliExpress in terms of sales volume.
Yeah.
Wow. It's just rubbish though.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, it's just full of crap.
Shit.
Yeah.
The quality of the
Did you
stuff.
buy some stuff?
Oh, in the early days, we may have bought 1 or 2 things, maybe some dress-up stuff for the girls and stuff like that on there, but it's just the quality is crap. It's not good for the environment. I'm anti-Temu, 100.
My wife hates it. But if anyone wants a rangefinder, they can go to Temu and get one for $88. So,
I mean, talking about lead generation, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and if it's to focus on goods, then I'm a data type person, so I would go look at your existing data, where's the customer coming from and what are they buying, and then look at that data closely, and then go, okay, what customer is our ideal client, and then go and target that group of person.
Yeah, it's good.
And maybe it's a different area or a different age or something like that. So then you go, okay, and then I'm going to sell them the number one product that I sell because I know that's the thing that I've always sold. So data, your future leads is created by looking at your historical data.
Yeah, and then you can create your socials, whether it's through Instagram or TikTok or anything like that, to target that ideal client, right?
Yeah, you got to be focused on your lead generation and know where you're going, because you don't want to be wasting your time. Yeah, because it's a sea out there, right? It's where are you actually going to get it from?
And that's really important because there's a lot of noise out there, so much noise. You say SEO, SEM, PPC. It's how many acronyms can you come up with, right? What do they all mean? And it's not anyone's job as a business owner to understand what the acronyms are, but it's your job to understand where you're going to get the best bang for buck. And you have a job to understand some of it as in a broad scheme of things, but you don't need to understand everything. So I think data is really important. You could say, I really want to spend $1,000 a month in SEO, and then your website's terrible, right? So you got to understand what foundation do you already have, and then build on top of that foundation. Yeah. There's no point wanting something that's so North Star and you're not working with what you already have, and there's so much more groundwork to do before you even get there. So to go for the low-hanging fruit, and that's basic things like Facebook advertising, SEO, getting a good website, Instagrams and all of that. On the flip side, and living in a digital world these days, I think there is an opportunity for some businesses, goods and services businesses, to go old school. A lot of people won't like hearing this, but if you go old school, you get way more cut through. So when you're in the digital world, you need 20 touch points to convert a lead. Yes. When you go old school, you still need only 2 or 3.
Stop leaving me hanging, mate. What are they? Tell me.
So leaf drops, you've got a leaflet drop right through, just walk down your own street. You don't even have to go beyond your own street, and you can just chuck things into the mailbox. you can't really do it legally, but you can like drop things in front of people's windscreens and put it on like that.
Shit, is that still a thing, man?
It's still a thing, man.
Wow.
Especially if you're in the
You're going
like,
to tell me to go to
trade stuff.
Yellow Pages soon. Are you going to tell me to go there as well?
No, definitely not. But I'm
But
talking
it
like
works, man.
maintenance sort of stuff, like you know, like
Yeah.
where somebody just needs it done.
Yeah.
They're not going to the Yellow Pages
To
anymore.
be fair, we've used them at home.
There you go.
Yeah,
Right?
same.
So
Someone drop off a card to say they're doing tree cutting. It's like, shit, I need a palm tree cut off. Cool. There you
Yeah.
go.
20
Good
minutes later, the
service.
tree's
Yeah,
gone.
solid. He wasn't online, no website, but it still works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
I'll tell you what, that's still where the best deals are. Is if you're still in the Yellow Pages or you're still doing a leaf drop, you're either like you're hustling, which is good. I always want to use them because I'm like, you're going to work hard for me. You're not going to charge me an arm and a leg. You're going to be fair. And I'm probably going to use you over and over again. Whereas I know that if there's, that's just my strategy, right? So I'm like, okay, well, this guy he must be local too, right? So I like that. I love old school.
Yeah, it's like that community thing, right?
Yeah. And then like you get socials and like you get hammered, actually it fucks with my head, so I can't make a decision. So I'm like,
It's too much noise.
It's just way too much.
So old school.
Yeah, old school's way.
Yeah, but I mean, like creating leads, it doesn't have to be old school or new school. It can be both, right? You
Yeah.
can do multiple things and create multiple lead streams for you.
I'll give you a good example of old school tactics. So networking, and how the digital world and then the new way of doing things has kind of fucked networking. So people now are part of too many networking groups, right? No loyalty, no commitment to a group, no real relationship there, right? If you just committed to one and you gave it everything, you would get a way better hit rate in your networking group because people actually know you better, you know them better, they're going to know what you do eventually. The second thing about it is what's happened in the new networking is everyone's trying to sell to those people in the networking group. You don't join a networking group to sell to the people in the group. You join a networking group to tell those people what you do and what you have to offer, and then they go and tell their friends, family, and everybody else.
Correct.
Right? So commit to one or two groups max
Yeah.
and just go in.
Yeah, they become your salespeople at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And by going in, I mean catching up with all of those people for coffee and all of that. Like, I fucking hate BNI, right?
But some are so successful.
But some people find so
I
much
still love
success
it.
in it.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah, I was part of a BNI
Yeah.
back in the day.
It's
Yeah.
interesting. Like
Yeah.
I don't know many small businesses in the early days that. Well, I met quite a few people at BNI,
Yeah.
and like most people have tried it or have got a taste of it.
Yeah.
Why didn't you like it? I didn't.
I don't know. I think there was, they have the whole givers gain thing, but it's like at some point you're like, when you're the only one giving,
Yeah, but so everything you said was basically BNI.
yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like,
so then I suppose the reason I ask is so I'm talking about leads. If you can't get leads or you can't do the work, then get someone else to do it. Because you're going to fucking look for the recipe. There isn't one. You just got to hard work, follow. And if you're not a natural networker or the services, or you don't know how to read data, get someone else to do it.
yeah.
Because you're going to be fucking around trying to get leads. And if you can't get the leads, then you got to, and if you're the only one in the business and you can't get the leads, come talk to me because I think you shut your doors. Potentially.
Yeah, and I really enjoy your point about getting that data of trying to find your ideal client as well. Because if you're generating leads in the wrong place, it's a waste of everyone's time and energy. So if you're generating leads that are the ideal client that you want to deal with, happy days.
This is a great segue into number 3. So when you have a lead, they become after that a prospect. So number 3 is to increase the prospect conversion. How many leads can you turn into prospects and then convert them? So that's a great point, great segue. If you have a whole bunch of shit leads, then you're going to be spending your time in the wrong place and money. You don't want to be. So we cheated a little bit before you talked about websites, and I jumped the gun and I said, make sure it's easy to use. So that's the first one on prospect conversion. If you go to a website and you got a lead, make sure it's easy to convert them into a prospect.
Yeah.
And they actually contact you.
Yeah. So the contact page, and it's user friendly, and they can fill it in, and then you can get that lead.
Yeah. Okay.
Even app-based as well. People swipe on your app. It was easy to use. I mean, most of our clients don't have an app, right? So we don't really have to go there. But it's all about customer experience. Like first impression really, really matters. And then you use your customer testimonials and wins to kind of win that and draw the string closer and closer. And you say, hey, mate, you've left this on your cart. Do you want to buy it? there you go. Then you seal the deal.
Yeah, I like that. The case studies and testimonials for service-based businesses are gold, absolute gold. 'Cause it's a real-life example of how you deal with these people. Yeah, it's great.
Depends on the buyer, like what type of buyer you are. So you must be a type of buyer that likes to see what someone else has got.
True.
Whereas I'm like the buyer that keep it simple, give me the price, and show me you're
You just don't want
confident.
to know any of that other stuff.
I don't want to know the detail. I need to know that you know what the fuck you're doing. And if you say, if it's going to cost me $500 and you're confident, I'm going to sign it straight away. But then there's other people that buy differently, like data. So they need a whole lot of data. So you need to first, if you've got a prospect, through your discovery, figure out how you can sell to them and how you need to talk to them. Because you always go on about testimonials. I couldn't give a fuck. Yeah. Like it doesn't, like for me, it's like, I need Justin to come here and tell me that he knows what he's doing.
You need the person to come to you and have belief that they're going to do the job.
Totally. I got to believe in you. You got to believe in me.
That's the trust, right?
Yeah.
But if you're talking about product, then you're going to need belief that the product can fix your problem.
Correct. So then you got to still tell me that the product, somehow you got to tell me the
Somehow they
product's
got to
good.
figure out to tell. Yeah.
So quality or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like,
Which would be a testimonial or a case study generally to be like,
well, it could
I
be
had this problem and
come
now
test the
my
product.
creams.
Yeah, it'll be
That's why you need a retail front.
Yeah, I mean, it can be as simple as a Google review, right? A lot of people judge going to a cafe first by looking at a Google review.
Yeah.
That's pretty brutal. I'm not going to lie. Like,
Yeah.
I was talking about it with my wife. Imagine 50, 100 years ago, you don't have to worry about Google reviews. Right now, you get one bad one and you can't sleep for a whole night. It just ruins people, eh? Yeah, people are trying, and there are some psychos out there just crazy reviews, even though they had a good experience. And it's all subjective.
Yeah.
Someone's 5-star might be someone's 2 stars.
Yeah.
But so, I mean, you're the testimonial guy. So do you check Google reviews?
Yep.
So then how do you assess it? So,
I don't go into detail. That can be a rabbit hole, mate, going into some of those reviews and going down streams and streams. But I certainly look at the high level ones.
yeah, okay.
The more reviews, the better. The higher the number, closer to 5, the better.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I
as
suppose
simple
you're
as
not
that
going to
for
get in between, right? You're going to get a whole lot of 5s and a whole lot of 1s, in my opinion, because
Yeah.
I mean, you may be in the middle, but like what I'm saying is I'm never going to leave you a review because it's just admin for me and I don't buy it that way.
Yeah.
So then if you're a review type person, you'll go, oh, there's 90% of good reviews and then there's 10% that are bad. It still must be okay. Like you've got to use your brain if you're going to use Google as a type.
Yeah.
Okay, let's keep moving.
I've never. Sorry, I just want to make one point.
Yeah.
I've never left a bad review unless it's a good review. So the review I make is always a 5-star.
Yeah.
Right.
But
I'm
you're
just
not
that
a
kind of
complainer,
person.
right? There's plenty of Karens.
I
out in
feel
the
like if you're talking to only one person, if you willingly take out the time to give someone a 1-star review, you must be really unhappy about your life.
world. I agree.
Or the service is really shit.
And you want other people to know.
But even if it should, like, look, people make mistakes. People have a genuine
Yeah.
chance to correct
Yeah,
themselves.
correct.
I'll just call them and say, hey, bro, I really had a bad experience.
Yes.
I had a terrible time. I think you should fix it.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
You
if
don't
you
need to
tell me
tell
to
the world.
But if you tell me F off, I'm going to give them a bad
But what if they don't
review.
fix it? Like I'm getting
Yeah.
very heated right now because it happened to me. I left one review and it was a fucking shit show. And you know who I'm talking about. Do you guys?
No, I don't know.
Okay.
You won't name?
No, I don't
that's
think
It's probably not a good idea.
You've been getting in trouble recently, mate. So
Yeah.
Let me just say it.
Okay, so another one, prospect conversion, not great for the service game. So please don't do this if you're in the service game. But if you're in the and maybe trades, don't do it if you're in trades. But if you're in goods and selling goods, discounting or promotions can be really good, but don't do it too often. Don't be Briscoes because otherwise you are Briscoes, right? 60% off. No, don't buy anything from Briscoes unless it's 60% off. That's the rule.
Yeah.
Everyone in New Zealand knows that.
yeah.
That's Briscoe's strategy though. So if
Yeah,
you're going
that's
to be
right.
Briscoes, be Briscoes.
So that's what I'm saying. Don't, unless you want to be Briscoes, then do it.
Yeah.
But sometimes there are, like I know plenty of retail people, and it was very clear who was choosing to do Black Friday and who wasn't, and it wasn't for everybody, and it shouldn't be for everybody.
Yeah.
Right. So if you believe in your product, don't discount it just because everyone else is.
Yeah.
Discount it when it's right for you.
If it's a new product and you're promoting it, I think that's a good time, just to give a discount or if it is a new product to market and you need to get your name out there, I think it's good to have those promotions, which is good.
Yeah.
I think discounting, like I've heard so much stuff on discounting and it's like people just like, don't discount ever. I'm like, you got to be sensible about the word discount and how you use it and when you use it. If you're a startup, fucking discount, man. Get the client in the door.
Yeah, yeah.
Correct.
Like the first GST return we sold was $40.
Yeah.
Like you can't buy for $40 now because of obvious reasons. But
Yes.
we had to get people in the door.
Yeah.
How else are we going to make our mark?
Yeah. So if you're new, then discounts and promotions are good.
Correct.
Okay, number 4. Once you've converted a prospect, let's say you convert a prospect today and it's $40, and you convert a prospect once you've got some runs on the board, and let's say it's 6 months or 12 months down the track, you don't want to sell that same product for $40 or service for $40. So number 4 is to increase transaction value. So we want, just gave away number 5. So how do you do that over time, right? You gotta probably be better at it and all of that. So what we used to do is bundle.
Yeah.
We used to bundle product.
Yes.
When I say we, I mean the world.
Yes.
And then guess what happens when you bundle product after a while? You unbundle product to increase the value. And we're now getting back into that place in the world where people are going back to bundling. So the whole world goes bundle for a while, unbundle. Bundle for a while, unbundle. Well, depending on what industry you're in.
It's like that McDonald's, would you like fries with that?
Yes.
Right? Your customer's already walking through your door. They park the car. It's about 7 to 13 times easier to sell to existing customer.
Yes.
So you already bought my Big Mac. Why don't you add fries and Coke and a Happy Meal for your kid and nuggets on the side?
Yes.
And when you log on to the McDonald's app, it gives you a massive bundle, so you can get 3 burgers, 4 fries, and that for this value.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're almost increasing the spend. And I think e-commerce does it quite well as well. People who bought running shoes also bought running socks and running vests, right? Why don't you buy it together? Mighty App has that pretty good strategy too.
Nice.
Yeah, no, that's good.
I'm just going to call this industry out. Like hospitality does it very poorly, I feel. Like they do it on, like on say on a Wednesday or whatever, they'll say, oh, you get a pie and a Coke or whatever, like, a burger and a drink and you get it. And so that's really good. And that's also a promotion. But they could easily increase their transaction volume by just having like a little side thing on a menu being like, permanently, if you buy an entree, main, and a dessert, and it's over $100, you get 10% off. Like that's it. Automatically increase the transaction value.
Totally. Like get more off me when I'm here.
Yeah.
It's
now,
like, we used to go to the bar, and I think one of the boys was like, "This beer, there's 3 beers on the table. As soon as they go half, bring the next 3. Don't wait for it to get to the bottom to bring the next one. We'll just tell you because we already had a drink, so you might as well just feed us it."
Oh, totally.
And then because we don't want to sit there, we might have an hour. Boys catch up, whatever. We're like, fuck, we sink a few beers here. And then it drives me bonkers that sometimes your drink's empty or you're wanting the next part to your
experience
and you can't get it.
Yeah.
And it's like, but then it comes back to training your staff culture and
rules and systems.
Like there's got to be easy. Like that's
so what you're talking about just there
up.
is actually number 5, which is to increase transaction frequency, right? So if you're buying the same thing, which is beer, over and over and over again, you're talking about increasing transaction frequency. So it's a good conversation because we're jamming the two together.
Yep.
The first one is to increase transaction value. So if you're going to go to buy a beer, make sure that they're buying food and they don't walk out without dessert or cookie or whatever.
Yeah, I mean that's interesting. I'm more of a volume person than a value person.
We know.
I'd rather do like charge you less but give you more. Like that's me.
Yeah, I think a good way to increase.
I think that's how you make money.
Yeah. I think a good way to increase value is to do collabs as well. You see a lot of fashion brands do it really well. So even Nike or Elliot Kipchoge's shoe charge an extra $100 on it. Fastest run in the world. So you kind of use this value proposition with people, and if they perceive the right value, they will pay more. Right? Michael Jordan, Kobe shoes, all these, Jordans still today.
Yeah.
People still perceive the value, and the reseller for like $1,000. Yeah.
Cheat code for anybody in business is make sure every single year you're increasing your prices. I said it, take it. If you don't do it, you're dumb. Moving on. Number 6. Reduce cost of sales. We're moving on. We don't have time. We're moving on.
I think I'm going to say this. You should do it. There's a reason why you do it, because otherwise it comes across the wrong way. Do it regular rather than go, shit, we need to catch up for 5 fucking years. So just do it on
every year.
7%.
Especially during these inflationary times,
Yep.
I could get into a whole thing of that. But
okay, number 6.
That's another podcast.
We quickly went past number 5, which was to increase transaction frequency. Just think of Niran, got a beer. How do I feed this guy more beers? Right. If I mow somebody's lawn fortnightly, how do I get him to weekly? That sort of thing. Number 6, reduce cost of sales. This is the part where everyone goes, cut people if you're in service based, or reduce portion sizes if you're in restaurant or hospitality.
Or get a new supplier.
Get a new supplier. all that sort of stuff. So anything else that you want to elaborate on reducing cost of sales?
I think automation and systems and processes. So if you're bettering the way that you do things within your business, you can get some efficiencies there with your cost of sales.
Cool.
Yeah.
And it depends what you call a cost of sale too, right? So some
Yes.
people have their wages and overheads, whereas they might be a direct cost of your revenue.
Yeah.
I just want to say you should not be cutting your people as a way to reduce your cost of sales unless there's a good reason.
Unless you genuinely need to, and there's
like
no
you don't
work.
just go, we're not saying cut cost of sales and not think about the big picture here, because
Correct.
Yeah.
people will go, oh, fuck, they told us to get rid of some people. It's like, no.
Yeah.
But you can reassign people to other parts of the business as
Totally.
well, you
Yeah.
know. So I think that's I've seen it in practice through a couple of my clients, and it works really well. You know, they've been in a certain area, they've had some efficiency gains in that area, so they're no longer required, and they just use them somewhere else in their business. That works well.
The other thing to look at these days, and it's working really well across a lot of industries, is offshoring and outsourcing.
Mm-hmm.
So you can do that for any business actually these days.
Yes.
Like I know insurers that use people offshore. We do. I know professional services firms that you have their entire parts of their businesses offshore. So offshore and outsourcing is a good one. Anybody in business should just Google, can I offshore if I am this X type of business? Just Google that and you'll come up with somebody overseas.
ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Don't you think it's hurting the economy a little bit?
Like locally?
Yeah.
I'm going to say no, because if we think about New Zealand, it's quite a small country,
Mhm.
and like Naren and I used to say, like if we outsource, how are we going to train
Correct.
for the next generation? But there are always bigger groups there that do that. I feel like I don't know. You just got to be conscious about what you're doing,
Yeah.
making sure you're like, we're not freaking Amazon. We're not going to impact the whole economy just by outsourcing ourselves.
And there's a shortage of people anyway, you know, so if you're utilising outsource, I think that's okay, you know, because it's hard to find people right now anyway in certain industries. So
Yeah, I'm going to also say no because, one, I don't think everybody can outsource or will successfully do it, because they don't. You got to be pretty good at it. Like, you got to understand how to do it, I think. Like, we've done it for a long time in different pockets of the business, but like it's not for everyone. Like, I see it failing more often than not.
Yeah.
And then you're dictated by the people that are recruiting for you offshore, and they tell you how to run your business. Don't fucking listen to them. Like, that is wrong. It's your business. You figure out how you want to offshore.
correct.
Yeah.
Certain parts of it. Also, it's probably not hurting the economy, because if we're making more money, we're putting it back into the business to hire the next senior person or the next talented person to meet a purpose and a vision.
Yeah.
So, like,
And paying
most
tax.
people that will outsource will do that with in mind. Because if you're going to do it, just cut costs, you're fucked anyway. Like, there's something wrong with your business model, because it doesn't actually save you money.
We do it to level
It
up
makes you more
our
efficient.
staff to do better things.
Correct.
more
Yeah.
things,
That's right.
Yeah.
So
It's got to be part of an
more
overall
strategic.
strategy.
Yeah, correct.
So let's do the last one, which is to reduce overheads. So that is also cutting cost in its most simplistic form. Everybody has done this one way or another, but let's go through some examples.
Oh, I think we do it pretty well ourselves at BetterCo. Like periodically, and it's probably once a year, we go line by line through our overheads lines and see where we can make some savings. And I think it's good just to review and reflect on your previous year, and I think everyone should be doing that. And it's not hard. You know, if you can run a P&L and you can go through line by line your operating expenses, you can get to some good gains pretty quickly on some of those. I mean, we look at an example for us is IT costs, right? We spend a lot on IT and software, and so we're going through that with a fine-tooth comb every single year to see where we can make some savings.
Yeah, I do it every month.
Oh, there you go, mate.
Or every 2 months almost. Like I go through the bank statement.
appreciate
I'm like,
you. Thank
what's
you.
this? This is rubbish.
Yeah, last time we asked the question, does technology actually make us more efficient? Right, that's
Yeah.
not a thing, because we're paying like 10 grand a month and subscriptions for technology, which is ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
But does it make our team more efficient, or is it just spending more time with a better, cooler thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money, eh?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, but you imagine going through every single line item, you know, and of course, you know, I said before, these inflationary times, you know, prices are going up across the board for these expenses, but there are some savings to be made if you go through it on a regular basis.
I think the other thing about overheads is you have to have you have to have almost like a strategy or a plan for each overhead.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you have to know your shit. So if it's your business, know your shit. It's your responsibility. You're accountable for it. You know your shit. You need to know, when is my lease up? And you need to have a conversation with the landlord well before that. You need to have evaluated the market well before that. To reduce an overhead, say 100K a year rent, and if you're going to go to somewhere smaller and it's 50K, make sure you've, checked everything beforehand and you know your shit.
Yeah. I think we live in a city where rent is just ginormous compared to the economy of scale, which is quite scary. We're less population, but our property prices are just out of whack. And it comes down to commercial property too. So look at any profit and loss statement for a service-based business or even a product-based business with a warehouse. Rent is the massive amount down there in OpEx. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So overheads, anything else on overheads?
Yeah, I'll just go like one. The way I think about it is, if you anything that you really, really need, spend heaps on it. Like just spend it.
That's
If you
great.
don't fucking need it, cut it. Like gone. Like just $0 if possible.
Yeah. Well,
So
you're an all in or all out guy, right?
Yeah, but I think that's even in my life I'm like that. Like if I don't like something in my personal life, it's gone.
Yeah.
But if I really love it, all the money goes there. Like don't care. Coffee's heaps of them. You know?
That's a really good point. So we should analyze our personal expenditure as well.
I
And
literally just wrote
Yeah.
down on my book here, link to personal.
Like subscriptions, love them. Like people fucking cut Netflix. I love it. I don't care. Keep buying them.
Yeah.
All good. I want access to all of it. But
Yeah, I've made a note.
some don't
I'm
like it.
analysing now.
So then, I mean, someone said it to us, and we've been coached on this a long time ago. Well, at least I did many years ago. And you know how accounting is like the first thing on your P&L, and then some accountants were changing it to consulting and accounting, so it's like third on the list at ABC. Just like, why are you so scared to talk about your fees? And then the way the way I was positioned was like, if you don't see any value in this cost, you're the first one, cut it. Gotta go.
If
I'm
you
useless,
see us as a cost,
like gotta go.
Yeah.
Correct.
Like so, we've lived by that for a long time.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
But I thought it was the funniest thing when people were changing it to consulting and accounting.
Yeah.
But it's the same logic, and that's where I sort of learned it and applied it to personal life too.
Yeah. No, smart.
Don't waste your money.
So if you're in business, you've got 7 ways. We've given you some examples and some tips there. You can very easily get carried away and focus on all 7. That's not what this is about. Focus on one, and then once you've rinsed that for all it's worth, you can probably go to the next one. And once you've done that, go to the next one. Now, I think they are in order of how you go about this a little bit.
Yes.
So cutting costs, we said right at the start, was dangerous. And if you notice, they were number 6 and 7.
Yes.
So don't start there. I mean, start there if it's small and easy, low-hanging fruit we talked about as well. But definitely,
as we said, this is an education process, right?
Yeah.
So there are many ways that you can grow your business if you want to, So I think, work through these, but just educate yourself.
Yeah.
The same would apply to better your business. Like it's not about just I think it's grow or better.
Yeah.
Can't go
I think
backwards.
for me,
Surely not.
it's all about bottom line, right? It's not about when someone says grow. I was like, I don't give a shit. Like, tell me, is the profit going to be more or less than last year? That's all I care about right now. Like, if you say grow, revenue is vanity, profit is sanity, and cash flow is
Mate, you're putting on the
reality. Yes.
Took me a while.
I was never going to get there. You lost me ages ago.
No,
So
I
where's
was
he going
gone.
with this?
Don't have a coffee
Just
today.
don't look my way.
Not that
So if
close.
you want to grow or be better, make sure it is in the right places.
Yeah.
And it's a part of an overall strategy that works with the entire business and the people that are in the business. Everyone should get a say, and it should be holistic to the end goal. And it should make your personal life better in the end.
Yeah,
So
I
it
mean, people
doesn't- what's the
focus.
point?
Yeah, people focus a lot on numbers, revenue, targets, profit. But if your people grow as well in the business, I'm pretty happy too.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
seeing our grads going from senior accountant, getting to CA, managers, and then having a family and all that stuff,
It's
getting
amazing.
the work-life balance. That's just amazing too. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
a
a massive growth for me.
Get a lot of satisfaction out of that too.
Oh, and pride, definitely.
Okay. Any closing comments?
Keep growing, team.
Not everyone wants to grow, mate.
Keep growing or be better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
be better. That's the one.
Yeah.
No,
1%
that's
every
a
day,
wrap
right? Be better 1% every day.
Yeah.
Focus on a couple of areas, and you'll definitely grow that bottom line.
And don't forget, we've got the webinar coming out
Yes.
end of May. So I think Thomas, one of our associate advisors, is running that. So he's going to go over all of this again in a little bit more detail. But yeah, so join that webinar. It'll be up on YouTube after that.
Yeah.
I'd assume.
Yeah, there'll be a recording as well, and it will be up on the website and all that. So, and if you can't get it, just shout out.
Yeah, awesome.
All right. Thanks, guys.